Park Jun woke up to the sound of his wolf Da growling at the window. It was still dark outside. The clock on his wall showed 3:17 a.m. "What is it, boy?" Jun asked as he got out of bed. Day kept looking at the sky. His gray fur stood up on his back. Jun had found Da as a pup 5 years ago, hurt and alone in the forest. Since then, they had lived together in this small cabin in the mountains, far from the busy city of Seoul. Jun went to the window and looked up. The night sky was clear, full of stars. Then he saw it, a bright light moving fast across the sky. It was not a plane or a star. It was something else. "A meteor," he whispered. The light grew bigger and brighter. Suddenly, it turned and changed direction. Meteors don't turn, Jun thought. The light flashed so bright that Jun had to cover his eyes. He heard a loud boom, like thunder, and felt his cabin shake. Then everything was quiet again. Day ran to the door, barking. "No, Da. We'll check in the morning," Jun said, but he could not sleep. He sat by the window with his old military binoculars, watching the forest where the light had fallen. When the sun came up, Jun put on his hiking boots and jacket. He grabbed his camera, a water bottle, and a small knife. He had been a sniper in the military for 15 years. He knew how to be careful. "Come, Da," he called, and the wolf followed him into the forest. They walked for an hour, going deeper into the woods. Jun saw broken trees and burned grass. Whatever fell from the sky had cut a path through the forest. Then Jun saw it, a large metal object, round like an egg, half buried in the ground. It was not a meteor. It was not from Earth. "Stay back, Da," Jun whispered, but the wolf ignored him. Da moved closer to the metal egg, sniffing the air. Jun took out his camera and took pictures. The metal egg was smooth and dark gray. It had no windows or doors that he could see. It was about the size of a small car. Suddenly, a line of blue light appeared on the surface of the egg. The line grew wider, and Jun realized it was opening. He stepped back and hid behind a tree, but Day stood his ground, watching. The top of the egg slid open. Inside, Jun could see a figure. It looked almost human, but not quite. Its skin had a blue tint, and when it opened its eyes, they glowed like lightning. The creature climbed out of the egg and stood on the ground. It was tall and thin. It wore a tight suit that seemed to shine in the sunlight. It looked around, then looked right at the tree where Jun was hiding. "I know you are there," it said in broken Korean. "Please, no harm." Jun was shocked. How did it know Korean? How did it see him? Slowly, he stepped out from behind the tree. Dad moved to his side, still watching the blue creature. "Who are you?" Jun asked. "My name, difficult in your language. Call me Krell," the creature said. "I come far, very far." "Why are you here?" Jun asked, keeping his distance. Krell looked up at the sky, then back at Jun. "Running. Danger comes. Not just for me. For all. Here." He pointed at the ground. "Danger? What danger?" "My people. Vulturi. They come. With thunder." Krell made a motion with his hands like an explosion. "I learned truth. Try to warn. They chase." Jun didn't understand everything, but he understood enough. This being was on the run, and others were coming after him. "Why should I believe you?" Jun asked. Krell reached into his suit and pulled out a small device. He pressed it, and a 3D image appeared in the air between them. It showed many ships, hundreds of them, moving through space. 3 days, Krell said. 3 Earth days. They come. Day growled, but not at Krell. He was looking back the way they had come. "Someone's coming," Jun said. He could hear faint voices and the sound of people moving through the forest. "Military, probably. They must have tracked your landing." Krell's eyes widened with fear. "Please. Help. Not ready. They find." Jun had to make a choice. He didn't know if he could trust this alien, but something in those glowing eyes looked honest and afraid. "Follow me," Jim said, quickly and quietly. As they hurried away from the crash site, Jim wondered if he was making a huge mistake. But days seemed calm around Krell, and Jim trusted his wolf's instincts. The thunder was coming, and somehow, Jim knew his quiet life in the mountains was over. Dr. Kim Hannah rubbed her tired eyes. She had been looking at her computer screen for 6 hours straight. The small office at Sewell National University Observatory was dark except for the glow of her monitors. "This can't be right," she said to herself. The readings on her screen showed strange patterns. The electromagnetic signals she had picked up last night were like nothing she had ever seen before. They were too perfect, too ordered to be natural. Her phone rang, making her jump. "Dr. Kim speaking," she answered. "Dr. Kim, this is Director Kang from the National Security Office. A car is coming to pick you up. Be ready in 15 minutes. "What? Why?" Hannah asked, confused. "National security matter. I can't say more on the phone." The call ended before she could ask more questions. Hannah looked back at her screen. Did her discovery have something to do with this call? Exactly 15 minutes later, a black car pulled up outside the observatory. 2 men in suits waited as Hannah got in. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Shoal Defense Command Center," one man said. He did not smile. The drive was long and quiet. When they arrived, Hannah was taken deep underground to a large room filled with screens and busy people. Military officers moved quickly from one station to another. Everyone looked worried. Director Kang, a short man with gray hair, met her at the door. "Dr. Kim, thank you for coming quickly. We need your help." He led her to a private room with a large screen on the wall. "What I'm about to show you is top secret." The screen lit up, showing what looked like a radar image. But instead of planes or weather patterns, it showed objects in space. 3 hours ago, our deep space radar detected these, Director Kang said. "At first, we thought they were asteroids, but they're moving too fast and changing direction." Hannah felt a chill run down her back. "How many are there?" "Over 200, and they're heading straight for Earth." "Have you tried contacting them?" Hannah asked. Director Kang nodded. "We've sent messages on all frequencies. No response." A woman entered the room and handed Director Kang a folder. "Sir, we just got this from the military unit in Gangwon Province. They found a crash site in the mountains." "What crashed?" Hannah asked. "We don't know yet, but whatever it was is gone now." The unit found unusual footprints and evidence that someone else was there first. The door opened again. A tall man in a military uniform walked in. "Dr. Kim, this is General Lee Sung, head of our defense forces," Director Kang said. General Lee shook Hannah's hand. His grip was strong, and his face was serious. "Dr. Kim, we need to know what these objects are and what they can do. The President has ordered us to prepare for any possibility, including invasion." Hannah felt like she was in a movie, not real life. "I'm just an astrophysicist. I study stars, not aliens." "But you detected the electromagnetic signals last night, didn't you?" General Lee asked. Hannah was surprised. "How did you know?" "Because we detected them too, and they matched the pattern of the objects moving toward Earth." General Lee showed her more images on the screen. "These signals are some kind of communication. We think the objects are talking to each other." "Like a fleet," Hannah said quietly. "Exactly," General Lee said. "We need you to study these signals. If we can understand them, maybe we can find a weakness." Hannah's mind was racing. "I'll need my equipment from the observatory." "Already on its way here," Director Kang said. Suddenly, all the screens in the room flickered, then went black. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then the screens came back on, but now they all showed the same thing. A symbol that looked like a lightning bolt. A deep booming voice filled the room. It spoke in a language no one understood. The sound was like thunder, so loud it made the walls shake. "What is that?" Hannah asked, covering her ears. General Lee's face was pale. "I think that's our answer. They know we're watching them." The message ended as suddenly as it began. The screens returned to normal. Director Kang's phone rang. He listened, then looked at them with wide eyes. "Reports are coming in from all over the world." That message played on every electronic device on Earth at the same time. Hannah thought about the strange signals she had been studying. They have technology far beyond ours. "Then let's hope they're friendly," General Lee said. But the look on his face told Hannah he didn't believe that for a second. June's cabin was small but warm. It had one bedroom, a kitchen with a wooden table, and a living room with a fireplace. Books about nature and photography filled the shelves. Pictures of mountains and animals hung on the walls. Kral sat by the fire, looking at everything with curious eyes. His blue skin glowed softly in the firelight. Dad lay on the floor between June and Kral, watching the alien carefully. "You must be hungry," June said, placing a bowl of rice and vegetables on the table. Kral picked up the spoon awkwardly. "Thank you. Kind." "How do you know Korean?" June asked. "We study Earth. Many years. Listen to signals, radio, TV, internet." Kral took a small bite of food. "Good." June sat across from him. "Tell me about your people. Why are they coming here?" Kral's glowing eyes dimmed a little. "Vulture, warriors, strong, take what they want." He pointed to his ears, which were larger than human ears. "We hear everything. Use sound as weapon." "Sound as a weapon? How?" Kral stood up and went to the sink. He picked up a glass and held it out. "May I?" June nodded. Kral placed the glass on the table, then made a high-pitched sound with his mouth. The glass shook, then cracked, then broke into pieces. "Like that," Kral said. "But bigger, much bigger." June felt a chill. "And they're coming here to use this weapon?" "Yes. 3 days. Maybe less now." Day growled softly, then got up and went to the window. He looked out into the darkness, ears forward, listening. "What do they want from Earth?" June asked. "Resources, metals, water." Kral hesitated. "And space. New home. They want to take over our planet," June said. It wasn't a question. Kral nodded. "I was scout. Find weak points. Good places to attack." He looked down at his hands. "Then I see your world. Beautiful. People. Animals." He looked at Da. "I cannot help destroy." Day turned from the window and walked slowly to Kral. The wolf sniffed the alien's hand, then sat next to him. "He trusts you," Jun said, surprised. "Da doesn't trust easily." "Smart animal," Kral said, gently touching Da's fur. "Special. I found him as a pup, hurt in the forest. He's been with me ever since." Kral looked at Da with what seemed like respect. "Not just wolf. More." "What do you mean?" Before Kral could answer, Da's ears perked up. The wolf ran to the door and growled. "Someone's coming," Jun said, getting up. He went to the window and looked out. Flashlights moved through the trees toward his cabin. "Military. They must have tracked us from the crash site." "Please," Kral said, standing up. "Cannot let them take me. Not ready." June thought quickly. The cellar. Under the floor. He moved a rug, revealing a trapdoor. "I keep my photography equipment down there. You'll be safe." Kral climbed down into the dark cellar. June closed the trapdoor and put the rug back just as someone knocked on the door. June opened it to find 2 soldiers with flashlights and guns. "Park June?" one asked. "Yes, that's me. I'm Captain Ba. We're investigating an incident in the forest. Did you see or hear anything unusual last night?" "I heard a loud boom, like thunder," Jun said. "I thought it was a meteor." Did you go to the crash site? Captain Ba asked. June shook his head. No, I stay away from military business. I like my quiet life here. Captain Ba looked past June into the cabin. His eyes stopped on Da, who stood still, watching the soldiers. That's a big wolf, he said. Is it safe? Da. Yes, he's friendly unless threatened. Captain Ba nodded. We need to check your cabin. Standard procedure. June stepped aside. Of course. The soldiers searched the cabin quickly. One walked over the trapdoor several times, but the rug hid it well. Finally, they seemed satisfied. If you see anything strange, call this number immediately, Captain Ba said, handing June a card. After they left, June waited 10 minutes before letting Crowl out of the cellar. They're gone, June said, but they'll be back. We need to contact someone who can help us warn people about what's coming. Crowl looked worried. Who? I don't know yet, June said. He looked at Da, who sat by the door as if standing guard. But we need to move fast. 3 days isn't much time. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance, but the sky was clear and full of stars. Dr. Kim Hana had not slept for 24 hours. Her small office at the Defense Command Center was filled with computers and papers. The electromagnetic signals from the alien ships played on one screen as moving lines and patterns. There must be a pattern, she said to herself, drinking her 5th cup of coffee. She looked at the data again. The signals changed every few seconds in a way that seemed random. But Hannah knew that in science, things that looked random often followed rules that were hard to see. The door opened, and General Lee Sung walked in. Any progress, Dr. Kim? He asked. Hannah shook her head. Not yet, but I'm starting to think these signals aren't just communication. They might be how the ships talk to each other instantly across space. What do you mean? Normal radio waves take time to travel, even at the speed of light. But these ships are spread out across millions of kilometers, yet they move together perfectly. Hannah pointed to the screen. It's like they're all parts of one mind. General Lee looked worried. That would make them very hard to fight. Yes, Hannah agreed. But if we could break this connection, it might confuse them. An officer ran into the room. Sir, we found something. The military team in the mountains reports that someone reached the crash site before them. A local man, a former military sniper named Park Jun. Did they question him? General Lee asked. Yes, sir. He denied going to the site, but they found boot prints that match his shoes. And there was a second set of strange prints that don't match any known shoe. General Lee turned to Hannah. We need to talk to this man. He might have seen the pilot of the crashed ship. You think there was an alien in that ship? Hannah asked. We need to find out, General Lee said. And we need you to come with us. If there's an alien technology there, your expertise will be valuable. 2 hours later, Hannah was in a military helicopter flying over mountains. Next to her sat a man she had just met, Major Yoon. Tell me about this Park Jun, Hannah asked. Former Special Forces sniper, one of the best, Major Yoon said. Left the military 5 years ago after a difficult mission. Now lives alone in the mountains, works as a wildlife photographer. Any family? None. Just a wolf he keeps as a pet. A wolf? Hannah was surprised. Yes, found it injured as a pup and raised it. Strange man, but respected by those who know him. The helicopter landed in a small clearing. Jeeps waited to take them the rest of the way. As they drove through the forest, Hannah saw soldiers searching the area. What are they looking for? She asked. Anything unusual, Major Yoon replied. Signs of alien technology. So far, they found nothing except at the crash site. They came to a small wooden cabin. Smoke rose from the chimney. A tall man stood on the porch, watching them approach. Next to him sat a large gray wolf. That's Park Jun, Major Yoon said. And his wolf Da. They got out of the jeep. General Lee approached first. Mr. Park, I'm General Lee Sung of the Korean Defense Forces. This is Dr. Kim Hana, an astrophysicist, and Major Yoon. June nodded but said nothing. His eyes were sharp and missing nothing. The wolf watched them too, its eyes almost human in their intelligence. "We need to talk to you about what crashed in the forest," General Lee said. "I told the other soldiers. I didn't see anything," Jun replied. "Mr. Park, your country needs your help," Hannah said, stepping forward. "Strange objects are heading to Earth. We think they're ships. Alien ships. If you saw something, anything, it could help us prepare." June looked at her for a long moment. Then his eyes moved past her to the forest behind them. Hannah turned and saw soldiers spreading out around the cabin. "You didn't come to talk," Jun said. "You came to search my home." "It's just a precaution," General Lee said. Suddenly, Dai stood up and growled. But the wolf wasn't looking at the soldiers. It was looking at Major Yoon. "Your wolf doesn't like me," Major Yoon said with a small smile. "Dad is a good judge of character," Jun replied. A soldier approached General Lee and whispered something. The general's eyes widened. "Mr. Park, we found unusual footprints leading to and from your cabin," General Lee said, "and traces of an unknown metal. You had a visitor last night, didn't you?" Before June could answer, Day barked once, loudly. The wolf ran to the door of the cabin and scratched at it. "I think," June said slowly, "that we should all go inside. There's someone you need to meet." Hannah felt her heart beat faster. This was it. First contact. Everything she had studied and wondered about was about to become real. As they walked toward the cabin, she noticed Major Yoon take out his phone and type something quickly. When he saw her watching, he smiled and put the phone away. Inside the cabin, Krull stood in the corner. His blue skin and glowing eyes made General Lee and Major Yoon reach for their guns. "Please," Jun said. "He is not dangerous." "I am." "Krull," the alien said in his broken Korean. "Come, warn you." Dr. Kim Hana stepped forward, her eyes wide with wonder. "You're really not from Earth?" "No, from far, very far." General Lee kept his hand on his gun. "Why are you here? What do those ships want?" Krull explained about the Vulture, their sound weapons, and their plan to take Earth. He showed them the same projection he had shown June, of hundreds of ships moving through space. "If they all come, big sound, like thunder, break buildings, hurt people." Krull made a wave motion with his hands. "Sound waves, very strong. Can they be stopped?" General Lee asked. "Hard. They're shields. Strong." Hana had been quiet, thinking. Now she spoke. "The signals I've been studying, they're quantum entanglement communications, aren't they? That's how the ships stay perfectly coordinated." Krull looked surprised. "Yes. How you know?" "Just a theory. If we could disrupt that communication." "Maybe ships get confused," Krull agreed. Major Yoon spoke for the first time. "We should take him back to the command center. Our scientists need to question him." Day growled again, moving between Yoon and Krull. The wolf stared at the major with unusual focus. "Your wolf really doesn't like me," Yoon said, stepping back. Krull looked at Day with new interest. He made a soft clicking sound. Day's ears perked up, and the wolf tilted his head. "What are you doing?" June asked. "Testing something," Krull replied. He looked at the humans. "This, not normal wolf." "What do you mean?" Hannah asked. "Wolf is." Krull seemed to search for the right word. "Silveragi." Everyone looked confused. Krull tried again. "My people know them. Old species. Very old. They think without sound." He tapped his head. "Mind to mind. Telepathic." Hannah asked. "You're saying Dai is an alien?" "Yes," Krull said. "Hide. As Earth animals. Long time." June looked at Dai in shock. The wolf he had raised for 5 years, his only friend in the mountains, was not a wolf at all. Day walked to the middle of the room and sat down. The wolf looked at each person, then at Krell. He wants show, Krell said, but needs quiet. No sound. Everyone went silent. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Hannah gasped. In her mind, she saw images, stars, ships, strange creatures. It was like a movie playing in her head. I can see, she whispered. Me too, General Lee said, his voice full of wonder. The images changed. Now they saw Earth from space. Then the Volturi ships arriving, sending out waves of sound that shattered buildings and hurt people. He's showing us what will happen, Jun said. Major Yoon's face had gone pale. He backed toward the door. This is some kind of trick. Day turned to look at him. Suddenly, everyone saw a new image. Major Yoon sending messages on his phone to someone. The messages were in a strange language, not Korean. He's been reporting to them, General Lee said, drawing his gun. He's working with the Volturi. Major Yoon pulled out his own gun, but Day was faster. The wolf leaped across the room, knocking the major down. Soldiers rushed in at the sound, grabbing Yoon and taking his weapon. Check his phone, General Lee ordered. A soldier looked at the phone and nodded. Strange language, sir. Not one I've ever seen. Search him, General Lee commanded. They found a small device in Yoon's pocket. Krell looked at it and stepped back. Volturi. Technology. 4. Calling them. Hannah looked at Day with new respect. If you hadn't exposed him. Day walked back to the center of the room. New images filled their minds. Wolves and other animals around the world, all watching, waiting. Many of them. Hundreds. Silver Reggie. Here a long time. Krell explained. Hide. Watch. Protect Earth. Why? June asked. Why protect us? The answer came not in words but in feelings, a sense of kinship, of shared home. Earth belonged to humans and Silver Reggie both. They've been silent guardians, Hannah said with wonder. All this time. And now, General Lee added, they may be our best hope against the thunder that's coming. The helicopter flew quickly back to Seoul. Inside were June, Krell, Da, Dr. Kim Hannah, and General Lee. Major Yoon was handcuffed and watched by 2 soldiers. How many more like you are there? General Lee asked Yoon. Yoon smiled but said nothing. Check everyone who had access to our defense plans. General Lee told a soldier through his radio. We may have more spies. Hannah was looking at the data on her tablet. According to our latest scans, the Volturi fleet has increased speed. They'll reach Earth in less than 24 hours now. They know we caught their spy, Jun said. Krell nodded. Volturi. Never wait when discovered. Always. Attack fast. Day sat between June and Krell, watching Major Yoon with careful eyes. Suddenly, the wolf's ears perked up. He stood and walked to Yoon. What's he doing? General Lee asked. Before anyone could answer, Day's eyes locked with Yoon's. The major's face changed from smug to afraid. No, Yoon whispered. Stay out of my head. Everyone in the helicopter could now see images in their minds. They saw Yoon in secret meetings with strange figures that looked like Krell, but with darker skin. They saw him receiving information, sending messages and planning. There are 5 more, General Lee said, as the knowledge appeared in his mind. All in key positions. Names. We need names, Hannah said. More images flowed from Day's mind to theirs. 5 faces, 5 names. Captain Han in communications, General Lee said, writing down the names. Dr. Park in weapons research. Lieutenant Kim in satellite control. He named 2 more, then radioed ahead. Arrest these 5 people immediately. Consider them extremely dangerous. Yoon was sweating now. You're too late. The plan is already working. What plan? Joan asked. Day's eyes glowed slightly, and more images came to everyone. They saw the Vulture fleet splitting into smaller groups, some heading to major cities around the world, others toward military bases, one large ship toward Seoul. They're spreading out for coordinated attacks, Hannah said. But why show us now? General Lee wondered. If the plan is working, why tell us? Yoon laughed. Because it doesn't matter if you know. You can't stop it. The helicopter landed at the Seoul Defense Command Center. Soldiers took Yoon away while the others hurried inside. The center was in chaos. Sir, an officer reported to General Lee, our satellite network is down. We've lost track of the alien fleet, and our communications with other countries are being jammed. Another officer said, we can't coordinate a global defense. General Lee turned to Kral. Your people planned this well. Kral looked sad. Yes, always. Good plans. Hannah was working on a computer. If I can reconfigure our systems to use a different frequency, we might be able to restore some communications. Do it, General Lee ordered. June watched the screens showing blank radar. How do we fight what we can't see? De moved to the center of the room and sat down. Once again, his mind reached out. But this time, the wolf seemed to be sending, not showing. What's he doing? Hannah asked. Calling. Others, Krell said. Other Silveragi. For several long minutes, nothing happened. Then reports started coming in from around the world. Sir, an officer called. We're getting messages from military bases worldwide. They report animals acting strangely. Dogs, wolves, foxes, even pet cats are gathering outside their facilities. The Silveragi, Jun said. They're mobilizing. A new image appeared in everyone's minds, a map of the world with glowing points of light. Each light was a group of Silveragi, positioning themselves where the Vulture would attack. They can track the ships when our technology can't, Hannah realized. General Lee looked at Da with new respect. Can they fight, or just warn us? The answer came not in words or images, but in a feeling of determination so strong it made everyone stand straighter. They can fight, Joan said simply. Suddenly, all the lights in the command center went out. Emergency generators kicked on, bathing everything in red light. They're here, Krall said, looking up at the ceiling. A low rumble shook the building. It grew louder until it became a terrible sound like the largest thunder anyone had ever heard. Windows cracked. People covered their ears in pain. Day stood perfectly still, his eyes glowing brighter than before. A bubble of silence formed around him, spreading outward until it covered the entire room. Outside, the thunder continued, but inside, there was only peace and quiet. It begins, Krell said in the silence. Seoul was in chaos. The Vulture sound weapons had started their attack. Buildings shook and windows broke. People ran through the streets, covering their ears. Some fell to the ground, unable to stand from the pain of the sound. Inside the Defense Command Center, protected by Da's bubble of silence, General Lee watched the screens in horror. Reports coming in from around the world. An officer said, New York, London, Beijing, Moscow, all under attack. Our jets can't get close to their ships, another officer reported. The sound waves push them back or make them crash. Tanks and ground weapons have the same problem, said a third. The sound breaks their electronic systems. General Lee turned to Krall. You said they have shields. Is there any way to break through them? Hard, Krall said. But, maybe. Shields strongest, around big ship, the leadership. The flagship, Hannah said. If we could take it out, would that help? Yes. All ships, connected. Like one mind. Break the main ship. Others get confused. June, who had been quiet, spoke up. I was a sniper in the military. If I can get close enough to their flagship, maybe I can find a weak point. Too dangerous, General Lee said. And how would you even get close? Day moved to June's side and looked up at him. A new image formed in everyone's minds. A small aircraft, flying low to avoid detection, carrying June and Dad to the Vulture flagship. "You want to go with me?" June asked the wolf. Day's answer came as a feeling of determination. "I'll go too," Krell said. "Know the ships, can guide you." Hannah had been working on her computer. "I think I might have something that could help. The quantum signals the ships use to communicate. I've been studying how they work. I might be able to create a device that disrupts them." "A quantum disruptor?" General Lee asked. "Yes. If you can place it on their flagship, it might break their network, at least temporarily." "How long would it take to build?" June asked. "I have the basic components here. Maybe 2 hours." General Lee checked his watch. "Do it. We'll prepare a stealth aircraft. June, Krell, and Dad will go in. Their mission is to place the disruptor on the flagship and get out." While Hannah worked on the device, June prepared for the mission. He cleaned his old sniper rifle and checked his gear. Krell drew maps of the Vulture flagship, showing the best way in and the location of the ship's quantum communication hub. "Here," Krell said, pointing to a spot on the map. "Put device here. Most effect." Day sat nearby, watching. Sometimes he would send an image to clarify something Krell was explaining. 2 hours later, they were ready. Hannah brought a small metal box with lights on it. "This is the quantum disruptor," she said. "When you reach the hub, press this button. It will take about 30 seconds to activate. Once it's working, you'll have maybe 10 minutes to get out before the ship's systems detect it and shut it down." 10 minutes is enough," Jum said, taking the device. They went to the roof where a small black aircraft waited. It was designed to be nearly invisible to radar. "Good luck," General Lee said. "The future of Earth may depend on your success." As they prepared to board, Hannah stepped forward and handed June a small earpiece. "This will let us communicate, at least until you enter the flagship. After that, the Vulture might detect our signals." "Thank you," June said. He hesitated, then added, "if we don't come back." "You will," Hannah said firmly. The aircraft took off, flying low over the damaged city. From above, they could see the destruction caused by the Vulture sound weapons. Buildings had collapsed. Cars were overturned. The only people outside were soldiers trying to help the injured. In the sky above Seoul hovered a huge dark ship, larger than a football stadium. 4 smaller ships surrounded it. "The flagship," Krell said. "Main ship, leader inside." Their small aircraft approached from below, using clouds for cover. The pilot, a skilled Air Force captain, kept them out of the Vulture's detection range. "We'll drop you on the outer hull," the captain said. "There's a maintenance entrance there, according to Krell's map. We can't wait for you. The pickup point is here." He showed them on a screen. "We'll be there exactly 1 hour after drop-off." June checked his oxygen mask. At that height, the air would be too thin to breathe normally. "Ready?" he asked Krell and Dai. The alien nodded. The wolf pressed against June's leg in answer. The aircraft moved silently above the flagship. A hatch opened in the floor. "Now," the captain shouted. June, Krell, and Day jumped into the open air, falling toward the massive alien ship below. June, Krell, and Dai landed softly on the outside of the Vulture flagship. They wore special magnetic boots that kept them stuck to the metal surface. Above them, their aircraft disappeared into the clouds. "This way," Krell whispered, pointing to a small door in the ship's hull. They moved carefully across the surface. The ship was huge, like a floating city. Below them, Seoul looked small and broken. Fires burned in some buildings. The thunder of the Vulture weapons echoed up from the ground. Krell pressed his hand to a panel beside the door. It slid open. "Quickly," he said. They entered a narrow hallway with blue lights. The door closed behind them. Inside, the air was warm and smelled strange, like metal and something sweet. "Can they detect us?" June asked. "Not yet," Krell said. "This area, not many guards. For repairs only." They moved through the hallways, following Krell's lead. Twice they had to hide when Vulture crew members walked past. The aliens looked like Krell, but wore black uniforms with silver marks on the shoulders. "The hub is 2 levels down," Krell said. They found a ladder and climbed down. The next level was busier. They could hear Vulture voices, high and musical, speaking a language June couldn't understand. "Now, careful," Krell warned. "Guards here." Day moved to the front of their group. The wolf's eyes glowed slightly. Suddenly, the sounds around them became muted, as if they were underwater. "Silverigi, silence," Krell explained. "Helps hide us, but small area only." They moved forward, staying in the bubble of silence that Dag created around them. When they turned a corner, they saw 2 Vulture guards standing at a doorway. "The hub, through there," Krell whispered. June raised his rifle, but Krell placed a hand on his arm. "No, sound will alert others." Day looked at them both, then stepped forward. The wolf's form shimmered slightly. It was subtle, but now Day looked more solid, more present. The guards looked their way, confused. They could see something, but the bubble of silence made it hard for them to focus. Then Day moved with incredible speed. Before the guards could react, the wolf was upon them. There was no sound as Day knocked them down, one after another. No growls, no shouts, just silent movement and then stillness. "Amazing," June whispered. They dragged the unconscious guards aside and entered the hub. The room was filled with strange equipment. In the center was a column of light that changed colors constantly. "The quantum communications core," Krell said. "Put device there." He pointed to a panel at the base of the light column. June took out Hannah's disruptor device and placed it where Krell indicated. He pressed the button. Small lights on the device began to blink. 30 seconds, Jum said, remembering Hannah's instructions. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed in the hallway outside. "They know," Krell said, his eyes wide with fear. "Did they detect us?" June asked. "No. Look." Krell pointed to a large screen on the wall. It showed Earth from space. All around the planet, small lights were appearing. Hundreds of them. "The Silverigi," June realized. "They're attacking the other ships." The device beeped, indicating it was active. The column of light flickered and changed from blue to red. "It works," Krell said. "Now, we go. 10 minutes only." They retreated into the hub and closed the door. June could hear the soldiers outside, trying to open it. "Is there another way out?" he asked. Krell looked around frantically. "No, only door." The door began to glow hot as the soldiers used tools to cut through it. Day moved to the center of the room and looked at June and Krell. An image formed in their minds. Day, growing larger, changing shape. "What's happening?" June asked. "True form," Krell said with awe. "Silverigi, true form." Day's body shimmered and grew. The wolf's shape stretched and changed. When it stopped, Day was still wolf-like but stood on 2 legs. His body was covered in gray fur, but his face was more expressive, almost human while still being wolf. He was as tall as June now. The door burst open. The Vulture soldiers rushed in, raising weapons that looked like silver tubes. Before they could fire, Day raised his hands. A wave of absolute silence hit the soldiers. They stumbled, confused. Their weapons made no sound when they tried to fire them. In the silence, June and Krell attacked. They fought hand to hand with the Vulture. June's military training made him a deadly fighter. Krell knew the weak points of his own kind. And Day moved with incredible speed and strength. They raced through the hallways, heading back the way they had come. The flagship was in chaos. The disruption of the quantum network had thrown everything into confusion. Alarms blared. Vulture crew ran in all directions. Almost there, Krell said as they approached the outer door. June, Krell, and Day reached the outer door of the flagship. Through a small window, they could see Seoul far below. The pickup point was on the other side of the massive ship. "We have to go around outside," Jun said. They opened the door and stepped out onto the hull. The wind was strong at this height. They moved carefully, using their magnetic boots to stay attached to the ship. Suddenly, the entire flagship shook. The quantum disruptor was affecting the ship's systems now. 5 minutes left, Jun said, checking his watch. They were halfway to the pickup point when a section of the hull opened. A vulture in a special suit climbed out. It was larger than the others, with dark blue skin and eyes that glowed red instead of blue. "The commander," Krell whispered in fear. The vulture commander saw them and raised a weapon. Instead of firing it, he pointed it at the sky and pressed a button. A terrible sound wave shot upward, then spread out in all directions. Even inside their helmets, Jun and Krell felt pain from the sound. Da, still in his true Silveragi form, stepped forward. He raised his hands, creating a bubble of silence around them. The sound waves hit the bubble and broke apart. The commander looked surprised. He had never seen a Silveragi before. He fired his weapon directly at them now. The sound beam hit Da's silence bubble and stopped. "Keep going," Da said, speaking to Jun and Krell for the first time. His voice was deep and gentle. "I will hold him." "No," Jun said. "We stay together." The commander was moving toward them now. Behind him, more vulture were climbing out onto the hull. "The disruptor will fail if we don't get away," Krell warned. "Need to call pickup ship." Jun looked at his old friend, then nodded. "Be careful, Da." He and Krell continued toward the pickup point. Looking back, Jun saw Da and the vulture commander facing each other on the hull of the flagship. Two ancient enemies, one who fought with thunder, one who fought with silence. When they reached the pickup point, Jun used his radio to call their aircraft. "This is Team Silence. We need pickup now." "On our way," came the reply. 2 minutes. Jun and Krell looked back at Da. The Silveragi was surrounded by vulture now, but they couldn't get close to him. His silence field kept them back and made their weapons useless. "Will he be okay?" Jun asked. "Don't know," Krell replied honestly. The small aircraft appeared from the clouds. It hovered near the edge of the flagship. The pilot waved through the window. "Come on, Da," Jun shouted through his radio. Da looked their way and nodded. Then he did something unexpected. He stopped making his silence field and instead sent a pulse of silent energy outward. The vulture, including the commander, were thrown back by the invisible force. In that moment, Da ran toward Jun and Krell, but the commander recovered quickly. He aimed his weapon and fired. The sound beam hit Da in the back. The Silveragi stumbled but kept moving. Jun ran to help him. Together, they reached the aircraft. The door opened, and they climbed inside. The aircraft immediately dropped away from the flagship, heading down toward Seoul. Inside, Da returned to his wolf form, too weak to maintain his true shape. Jun checked his friend's injury. "Will he live?" the pilot asked. "Yes," Krell said. "Silveragi. Strong." Through the windows, they watched as the effects of the quantum disruptor spread through the vulture fleet. The ships began to drift, their perfect formation broken. Some collided with each other. Others started to fall toward Earth. "It's working," Jun said. Back at the Defense Command Center, they found Hannah and General Lee watching the screens with amazement. "The vulture ships are losing power worldwide," Hannah said. "The quantum disruption spread through their entire network. And Earth's militaries are attacking while they're vulnerable," General Lee added. "Plus, reports are coming in of Silveragi helping everywhere." Krell looked at the screens with mixed feelings. "My people, defeated." "Not all of them," Jun said. "Just the ones who wanted to hurt Earth." Later, they stood on a hill outside Seoul, watching the sunset. Most of the vulture ships had been destroyed or captured. A few had escaped back into space. Will they return? Hannah asked. Not soon, Krell said. Take time. Rebuild fleet. Day, recovered now but still in wolf form, sat beside June. He sent an image to their minds. Silver Reggie around the world, coming out of hiding, ready to stand with humans openly now. So what happens next? General Lee asked. We rebuild, June said. And we're not alone anymore.